I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
This is Optimal Health Daily, Celebrating Food by Renata Leo of BuffaloSauceEverywhere.com. And I'm your host and narrator, Dr. Neil Malik. Hey there, happy Tuesday and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I simply read to you from the best health and fitness blogs for free. And then on Fridays, I answer your questions. Remember, you can send in a question by going to oldpodcast.com/ask or email your question to health@oldpodcast.com. All right, and with that, let's get to today's article and continue optimizing your life. Celebrating Food by Renata Leo of BuffaloSauceEverywhere.com. If you're a regular here, you all know about my issues with disordered eating. I can't remember a time when I didn't have some unhealthy thoughts around food, nor can I remember a time when I didn't obsess about everything that I ate and, subsequently, my weight. With the introduction of Kelsey, my new dietitian, into my life, I've been trying to unlearn all of the unhealthy feelings I have about food. As I'm sure you can imagine, it has not been easy. While I already had some internalized, damaging feelings about food and my body as a young person, there was no denying that I was surrounded by influences that perpetuated these feelings. In middle school, my friends and I started eating Atkins bars for lunch and looking down at each other at restaurants for not ordering salads. In high school, I found ways to avoid eating at all costs. In college, many of my friends would comment about punishing themselves with exercise for every little thing they ate. I felt as though I was constantly surrounded by people who saw food as the enemy. After years of this, I've started to think of salads as a necessary evil, and desserts as a sweet, amazing treat meant to be avoided at all costs, albeit stared at coyly from across the table. It wasn't until I studied abroad in France that I started to befriend people who really celebrated food. Instead of dining with people who whined about how much they would have to run to burn off their salads, I was dining with people who looked at me like I was crazy when I said I didn't think I wanted dessert. We were in France after all. It was time to live it up and try every crepe, baguette, and pastry I could get my hands on. There was no time for food regret or counting calories, only experiencing and savoring. This attitude wasn't only refreshing, but also surprising. It was a significant difference from any attitude towards food that I had heard in my life. During my time abroad, I visited some of my friends in Nice. After seeing all of the sights, we decided to have a picnic on the beach. We walked through the fresh food market, buying way too much food to take down to the shore with us. Every time we stopped at a new food stand, all we could do was marvel at how beautiful it looked and how good the food tasted. One of my friends picked up a strawberry and just couldn't believe how perfect it was. First, she marveled at its beauty, then she savored every bite. While I remember that day for the camaraderie of my close friends and the fun I had speaking and bartering with the vendors in French, I mostly remember that day for the celebratory attitude my friends and I had around the food that we were eating. I had never had a more enjoyable and guilt-free meal. That was the day I realized I wanted to be around people who celebrate food. I wanted to surround myself with people who pick up a strawberry and marvel at how red and beautiful it is and relish every bite. Since then, I've made it my goal to find and befriend more people who celebrate food. Even on days where I feel afraid of food or strive to fight my hunger cues, I can rely on my friends to remind me that food isn't just fuel. Food isn't only meant to be something to keep our bodies moving physically, but also to give us a wonderful emotional experience. This is one of the most ingrained lessons that I'm trying to unlearn with my dietitian. Cookies provide very little nutritional value. You can't properly fuel your body with dessert. In times when I can't get these thoughts out of my head, my dietitian reminds me that food needs to satiate us not only physically, but also emotionally. Eating should be an enjoyable experience, so it only makes sense to surround myself with people who actually enjoy it. Now I have friends and coworkers who I know I can turn to when I want to really celebrate food. I know that going out with them will mean marveling about how great everything tastes, celebrating each bite, and declaring it better than the last. Who doesn't want to experience that? Plus, when I'm surrounded by others who are celebrating food, I will be more likely to celebrate food myself. Celebrating my food gives me a necessary break in the guilty feelings about food that are ever present for me. When I'm thinking about how amazing the food I'm eating is, there's really no place in my head for self-hatred. It's hard to regret splurging on dessert when every single bite makes me go, Are you surrounded by people who are just trying to eat food to get by, unsure of how to break the pattern? Well, I highly recommend going to a cooking class. My partner and I went to one recently, and the love the chef had for food was truly inspiring. Hearing her talk about fontina cheese was like hearing her talk about her child. We made pizzas with Chef Helga, and with each new ingredient added or each new pizza out of the oven, she commented on how amazing everything looked. She encouraged us to enjoy ourselves and our food. There'd be no talk of exercising off our calories, only celebrating the delicious food in front of us. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that surrounding myself with people who celebrate food will totally fix my disordered eating, nor do I think that every meal can be a grand celebration. But since we need to eat in order to live, why not enjoy it? You just listened to the post titled, Celebrating Food by Renata Leo of BuffaloSauceEverywhere.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. With Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, Sponsored Jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength. Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog. Oh, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. Today's author, Renata, brought up a suggestion that we can use for almost any kind of health habit. Renata said that she started surrounding herself with others that celebrate and enjoy their food. What if we also chose to surround ourselves with those that enjoyed, let's say, exercising? Or surround ourselves with those that deal with stress more effectively? A while back, a major U.S. magazine published a cover story that said, quote, "Obesity is contagious," end quote. Now, the authors didn't mean that a virus or a bunch of bacteria can lead to weight gain. Instead, they argued that, based on a number of studies, we tend to follow the health habits of those we spend the most time with. So, if the people we spend the most time with tend not to exercise and tend to dine out at restaurants more often than not, we will probably do the same. So what if instead, like today's author Renata, we found a group that performs some of the behaviors we're hoping to adopt? Well, we'll likely start to do those behaviors too. So I would argue that even healthy habits can be contagious. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening every day. I hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.